Pottery provides the most important information about the techniques, technologies, and stylistic development of past. Pottery played a vital role in archaeology. It served like documents of important themes in human life and also shows sources of inspiration in the history of arts and crafts. Pottery provides an understanding of an area, internal communication routes, and also its external links. It is a key to local manufacturing program and production. Its most admirable characteristic is that it is durable. Even though it breaks, it does not disintegrate. Each piece retains its form and shape and can be studied. The greatest attraction that pottery holds for the archaeologist is that it lends itself to enormous variety and scales of investigation, as well as interpretation in terms of technology, economics, social, and cultural history. This paper reports briefly the results of a survey of archaeological sites of Upper Sindh, especially Larkana and Sakhar. During the survey, it was noticed that majority of the site occupy the sand dunes, beds, mounds, and slopes of the sand dunes. The area under study focused on plains, hills, thar, and putt. The thar consists of uprising sand dunes and bhis. The putt or achdo thar is the northern section of the desert. There are many dharns or salt lakes. The force of the southwest monsoon is not felt here. The sand is loose and presenting a dry and airy in appearance and Lycian fine clay. These bits are covered with vegetable, herbs, shrubs, small trees, and plants. Some medicinal plants like Calatopsis or Pretoria covered with Salvadora and Persian alhaji. I can't all these names. The climate is arid. Ancient river Indus entered Sindh from Mithankot near Uch, Punjab, and inundated whole region. Flows towards Arabian Sea. It made several flood channels, watering almost every part in its catchment area and creating many sweet-water lakes. The sweet-water lakes might have provided substantial resources and could have been utilized for grazing herds, collecting wild fruits, storing drinking water, and fishing and cultivating crops. Deserted plains covered with a scatter of pottery, those two were somewhere found together. Few remains of stupas on very high mounds or on a low hill, like Shah Shakarganj in Arod, modern Rodi, or Sirajji Takri near Khairpur Mirs, mounds formed by the collapse of the successive layers of mud brick buildings. They are larger and higher than the mounds. Wind and erosion have accumulated a surface scatter of occupation debris. The pottery from Larkana district is in very fragile and bad state due to salinity. No design, decoration seams, even color of the pottery decolorized, though the pottery from Sakhar is in much better condition. Here discuss the 150 shards. In classification criteria were first considered relating to the four main characteristics of pottery: the fabric, form and surface treatment, and type. The material from Upper Sindh was divided into 6 groups. One is incised pottery, which further divided into 3 subgroups: groove, deep, and shallow. It divided by technique of decoration. Second group, embossed and knobbed. Third group, applique and rusticated. Fourth group, painted ware. Fifth, stemmed pottery. And sixth, a combination of the above. This is the district-wise list. This is the sites and their coordinates. Sites and their abbreviations. History, geography, and previous research. The earliest evidences of pottery found in this region from Mehergarh B2 5500 to 4800 BC and Mehergarh period 3 4800 to 3500 BC, and after it from the numerous sites of Indus civilization. The earliest evidence of stamped pottery reported from Bhir Mound and Sirkap or Dharma Rajika site. Here also found stamps for stamping the pottery near Texla. Reports from surrounding regions regarding stamped pottery from India, archaeology of Ghagar Basin, settlement archaeology of Mehim Block, Rohtak, Haryana, India. In 1954 to 56, S.D. Sankalia and his colleagues conducted excavation at Nivasa in western Deccan, found fine mold made red ware. Wheeler suggested that them are as Magrian shards. Magrian shards is classical archaeological literature as Hellenistic mold-made ceramics. Devanimori from Gujarat, Indian Gujarat, report the excavation conducted from 1960 to 63. They also found the stamped pottery. From Afghanistan, reports of Tafe Sardar, Tade, and Virardi, and archaeological reconnaissance in the Helmand Valley, South Afghanistan. They also reported this type of pottery. From Pakistan, Bhir Mound, Taxila, Sirkap, different reports published by archaeological missionaries, worked on Swat, Shorkot, Tolamba, Sui Vihar, and most of the early historic period sites of Sindh. The area under discussion was visited and explored prior to my exploration by Henry Kazan, Majumdar, Van Lohuysen de Leeuw, G. Virardi, Maurice Otade, and Dr. Mughal. This is the map of the Sindh and the area under study, Larkana and Sakha districts. Background for this project: in designing the project discussing below, a main goal was to investigate the stamped pottery found in bulk from early historic sites, or so-called the Buddhist period sites of this region. This research will focus on the stamped pottery, its other types, and to make a systematic chronology of the early historic pottery, the analysis of pottery based upon relative chronology. For this purpose, we took on board pottery found from all over the Pakistan and surrounding regions. 38 sites were explored. The survey was carried out in 2 districts of Upper Sindh. Sites were of 4 types: mounds or daras in local language, deserted plains, and slope of the sand dunes, the deserted plains covered with a scatter of pottery, few stupas on very high mount, and few are on low hills. Patrons stamped directly on the clay with the stamped pottery reports from Taxila to Sindh, Tolamba, Shorkot, including whole Gandharan region. Every archaeologist considered this pottery as Buddhist period pottery. It has the other distinct styles and patterns: applique, bones, ribbed, embossed, rustic, naturalistic designs comprised over floral, sun motifs. The earliest form of foliated and floral motifs appear in terracotta along with geometrical motifs. In Sindh, potters worked from thousands of years. Here the potters transferred these techniques from generation to generation. The work in stamped pottery, terracotta, clay, and also unbaked, baked bricks, beautifully cut brick, artistic techniques shown from all over stupas of Sindh. Here in Sindh, it's common that different castes naming after their professions, potters known as kumbhars. The potters of the Sindh are kumbhars, caste of pottery makers, are very well aware of all techniques transferred from generation to generation. They are the savior of these pottery techniques. Sindhi artist is also known very well aware to made blocks for dyeing ajrak, a traditional cloth, and here 1,000 years old embroidery techniques transferred, which first depiction cloth by dye, molded wooden stem, then embroidered by colored threads. This embroidery known as hurmuchu. These blocks are same like stems for stamped pottery. Stamped pottery, like the other crafts of the region, exhibits the influence of a rich and multicultural past. The art of the pottery has an unchanged tradition to form ages of ancient history. Diversified branches of Sindh's decorative art, ordinary domestic vessels, mostly earthenwares. It was meal-made, the beautifully usage of foot wheel or quick wheel. All fragments analyze the pottery, reflects a continuity. These are all the same. They are also new types of pottery like gray or dark gray, where along with the red columns, wheels, throne waves, the motifs found on stamped pottery mostly are bead and reel. Moldings, lotus buds, rosette patterns, beside stamp pottery found applique, embossed, rustic, and incised pottery. Everywhere on Buddhist period sites, stamp designs were impressed in the clay with the die, leaving an indelible mark, design, or imprint. This is the typology of the stamped pottery. Incised pottery. Incision is a line or stroke or notch cut by a sharp tool. As a result, clay has generally been pushed out the sides. Incised potters' work can be done when the clay is wet for softer lines or at medium to stiff leather, hard for sharper edges, lines. Decoration of pottery had other types like grooves, combing, ribbing, rim decorated with incised lines. These types of pottery found from the Sarkab and Jandial sites. Applique pottery. In this ware, a plain vessel is first made and then separate ornamental devices molded or stamped in the same clay are applied to it. Applique designs or Asian style potters made design in clay. They then applied to the vessel's surface with an adhesive slip. Only 2 specimens of this ware have been found, one from Dharmarajika and the other from Jandial. Rustic pottery. The decoration on this species of ware is produced by so manipulating the surface of the clay with the fingers. Stamped ware. Stamps ware with infused patterns, stamps directly on the clay with the positive stamp. Both red and gray clays are used for this ware. This is from Sarkap site. Circular stamp with beaded circle at larger end, stamp with leaf-like devices at one end, circular star at other. Stamp with raised devices, circular stamps with pierced squat. Stamp designs were impressed in the clay with a die, leaving an indelible mark, design, or imprint. Okay, thanks.